July 4th, 2025, Mars. The UAC facility has gone dark. Again. Hell portals have opened. Again. And one man in green armor is tearing through demons by the thousands, painting the walls with viscera and fury. The Doomslayer doesn't speak. He doesn't negotiate. He just kills until nothing is left to kill. But let's change one thing. When the Slayer returns to Earth, the UAC, desperate to cover up their demonic experiments, frames him for the invasion. Doctored footage shows him opening the hell portals. Fabricated evidence paints him as a terrorist who unleashed the apocalypse. The president, manipulated by UAC lobbyists, authorizes lethal force against the one man who's been saving humanity this whole time. The Doomslayer doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about being framed. But if the military gets between him and the demons he's hunting, they're going to learn why hell itself fears this man. So, what happens when an unkillable rage machine designed to slaughter the armies of hell faces off against the US military? 6 a.m., Nevada desert. The Slayer emerges from a UAC portal facility, covered in demon blood, BFG 9000 in hand. A security team opens fire immediately. M4 carbines at 3,000 feet per second, 5.56 millimeter rounds, delivering 1,800 joules each. The rounds spark off the Praetor suit like matches against granite. This armor was forged by a betrayer god and enhanced with argent energy harvested from hell itself. In the lore, it let him fight continuously for eons against infinite demon hordes without rest, without food, without ever stopping. The suit doesn't just protect him, it makes conventional weapons a non-factor. He walks through the gunfire, grabs the nearest soldier by the vest, and bowls him into the others. Non-lethal by his standards, humans aren't demons. He's not here for them. But they won't stop shooting. 6:30 a.m., a Marine battalion from 29 Palms rolls in hard. Humvees mounted with M2 Browning 50 cals, soldiers setting up M240s, and tow missile launchers. The 50 cal rounds deliver 18,000 joules each, enough to punch through engine blocks. The Slayer assesses the formation in a microsecond. He's killed cyber demons with rocket launchers fused to their flesh. He's beaten the Titan, a skyscraper-sized demon, to death with his bare hands. A few Humvees aren't the problem, the angle is. He pulls out the super shotgun and fires the meat hook. Not at a vehicle, but at a radio tower 200 meters behind the convoy. He slingshots over the entire formation, lands behind their lines, and starts working forward. The 50 cals try to track him, but they're pointed the wrong way now. By the time they reposition, he's already flipped the lead Humvee onto its roof with a single punch to the chassis. A tow missile screams toward him. He sidesteps, catches the guide wire, and redirects the missile into an empty supply truck. The explosion provides cover while he closes the distance to the launcher crew. 30 seconds, the entire battalion is disabled. No fatalities, just broken equipment and shattered confidence. 7 a.m., the desert goes quiet. Then the Apaches arrive. 8 helicopters from Nellis, each carrying 16 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles. The irony of the name isn't lost on anyone who knows the Slayer's history. He's walked through actual hellfire, the burning lakes of the damned, without breaking stride. The helicopters spread into attack formation, targeting him from 8 angles. Crossfire pattern, no escape vector. They fire everything at once. 128 missiles fill the sky, contrails weaving a web of death. Each Hellfire creates a jet of molten copper at 25,000 feet per second. The combined impact would vaporize a city block. The Slayer does something unexpected. He doesn't shoot, he doesn't stand his ground, he runs toward them. The meat hook latches onto the nearest Apache. He reels himself in at 60 miles per hour, using the helicopter as a shield. Its own squadron's missiles can't risk hitting their wingmen. He reaches the cockpit, punches through the canopy, and yanks the stick hard left. The Apache spirals into the missile cluster meant for him. Chain detonation. The sky turns orange. He leaps from the wreckage to the next helicopter, then the next, moving through the formation like a pinball made of rage. 7 Apaches fall in 45 seconds. He rides the last one down, stepping off the fuselage as it craters into the sand. 8 a.m. The Pentagon scrambles everything at once. No more escalation. No more testing. M1 Abrams tanks from Fort Irwin. F-22 Raptors from Edwards. A B-2 Spirit bomber turning toward Nevada with a GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator in its bay. Billions of dollars of military hardware, all converging on one man in green armor. The Slayer watches them come. For a fraction of a second, something like anticipation crosses his visor. This might actually be interesting. The tank opens fire first, Sabot rounds at Mach 5, tungsten penetrators carrying 12 megajoules. The jets launch AIM 120 missiles from 40,000 feet, Mach 4 death from above. The Slayer draws the Crucible. The blade of pure argent energy ignites, a weapon forged to kill titans, to slay beings that laugh at physics. One horizontal swing. The arc extends far beyond the blade's physical length, a crescent of hell energy crossing half a mile in an instant. The Sabot rounds split in midair. The tank split too. He switches to the BFG without pause, firing skyward. The sphere of concentrated argent plasma screams upward, detonating in a burst that arcs to every piece of hardware in a half-mile radius. The missiles die. Two F-22s lose their avionics instantly, their pilots punching out. The remaining jets break off, realizing too late that altitude isn't safety. It's just distance he hasn't closed yet. 9 a.m. The B-2 releases the MOP from 45,000 feet, 30,000 pounds of bunker-busting explosive, 11 tons of TNT equivalent, the biggest conventional bomb in the arsenal, falling at terminal velocity. For the first time, the Slayer stops moving. This is more firepower than anything he's faced today. In a single package, it rivals the explosion that leveled the Argent Tower, a blast he barely walked away from. The Praetor's suit's energy readings spike as it calculates damage projections. Even for him, this might actually hurt. He aims the BFG straight up and fires. The Argent Sphere meets the falling bomb at 30,000 feet. The collision tears the weapon apart before its detonator can trigger. 30,000 pounds of explosives scattered across the upper atmosphere as inert debris shredded like a piñata hit by a grenade. Fragments ran down for miles. None of them touch him. 10 a.m. The president faces the nuclear option. The USS Nevada awaits authentication codes. Trident II missiles armed with W-88 warheads, combined yield of over 80 megatons. But the analysts have pulled UAC research logs from the Mars facility. What they're reading changes everything. According to the files, the Slayer has survived exposure to Argent energy, the weaponized essence of tortured human souls processed through hell itself. Energies beyond conventional physics. And prolonged exposure didn't weaken him, it made him stronger. The Slayer's testament, ancient writings from Argent Nur, states he had been fighting forever. Time works differently in hell. Millions of years of slaughter, damage that would atomize continents, absorbed through sheer rage. If they nuke him and he survives, and everything suggests he would, they'll have made him angry. And an angry Doomslayer is what made hell itself seal him in a sarcophagus rather than keep fighting. 11 a.m. The strike is called off. Not because they've given up, because the Slayer has stopped fighting. A hell portal has ripped open 40 miles north. Demons are pouring through. Imps, pinkies, a baron of hell leading the charge. The Slayer is already moving toward it, ignoring the burning wreckage of $1 billion in military hardware behind him. He was never fighting the military. He was walking through them. Every bullet, missile, and bomb, just an inconvenience between him and his real targets. Now there are demons to kill. The humans are irrelevant. By sunset, the portal's closed, the demon horde is meat, and the Doomslayer stands alone in a field of ash and gore, super shotgun reloading with a mechanical click, visor scanning the horizon. Somewhere in the distance, the sky cracks red. He starts walking. That's all I had. If you want to see what happens when Luffy fights the entire U.S. military, then click the video on screen now. Thanks for watching.